And it's recording, all right. What is up, everyone? So before I start the Q&A, I just want to let you all know again that I'm streaming over at Twitch approximately every other day because I don't have a schedule. I'm mostly doing it for fun and to hang out with you guys. So if you want to come on over, play some games, hang out, talk some shit, let's do it. I will have a link in the description below, and I will also have a link for our Discord where I'll post regular updates, talk about games, post screenshots, and I also have our own tab there for suggestions for covers, so be sure to check that one out. Alright, without further ado, let's get to your questions, shall we? What made you want to turn some of the best tracks WoW has to offer and turn them into amazing metal remixes? You know, it happens mostly the same with every cover I make, more or less. I play the game or watch the show, and then I get super inspired and I go up to my studio and start making a cover. It's not always it comes to fruition immediately or at all, but I start because I get super inspired. You know, I compare it to like when you were younger. You watched the show on TV, you just got super hyped about it, and you ran outside, grabbed some sticks and started playing the show, you know. It's basically the same, just, you know, with music. How old were you when you started to play guitar, get into music? Well, I actually started with music in 2001, making trance and dance music, and then I picked up the guitar in 2004. I'm really starting to feel my age now. I'm very hesitant on putting vocals on my own material. The reason why is because I don't come from a vocalist perspective. What are some tips to help me find a melody over my instrumental tracks? That's a really cool question. So I started with, you know, instruments myself. I wrote both rhythmically and melodically everything for my vocals on guitar or keyboard first, and then I just sang that. But you know, over time you get really comfortable with your voice and how you like to do stuff. And this is very subjective for everybody. But I think the best way to kind of get there, first of all, just write the melodies you want. First of all, just write the music you want and then try to sing that. And then I think you will get a feel for what you can and can't do very quickly. And also listen to other bands you like and try to just sing along with their songs and see what is comfortable and what is not. And then just try to translate this over to your own melodies. Am I allowed to go pee? Go relieve yourself, my brother. You have my blessing. I have a question with regards to your process when creating covers for songs that are not metal. You listen to the song you are going to cover and then come up with the ideas, or do you already have an idea and then pick a song that will work with that idea? With every single cover I've made, it's always stemmed from the original song itself. Because I listen to the song and then I hear the kind of the chord progression, the time signature or the tempo and the melody, and I can easily tell if this can be translated into my style or not. Because, you know, some songs I just have like a simpler structure, like Toss a Coin to a Witcher it's 4/4 straightforward parts, and it was easy to just, you know, put it in, make my stuff on top. But then you have other songs like World of Warcraft's Invincible. Even though the melody and everything isn't that complicated, I just struggled a lot to get it into my own style. So it really varies, but I can easily tell, but just by listening to the song one time, if it will fit as a cover or not. Hey, so a question from someone who has struggled with motivation his whole life. Do you ever have days or even weeks where you sit down to do it and just find yourself floating between too many projects and ideas that you end up doing nothing? Dude, you just summarized my life. That's exactly how it is with me every single day almost. I have to kind of punch myself into line to focus on one thing. Like the other day, like yesterday, before filming this video, I was like working on 3 different new covers. Like I know exactly what I'm supposed to do today, but I'm doing everything else. Have you ever struggled with throwing stuff in the trash as soon as you make progress because you don't like your own work? And if so, how do you personally push through those roadblocks? Well, like I just said, like that is not uncommon for a lot of people, and for me in particular, that described pretty much me. But you know, I start making a cover and I don't feel bad if it doesn't go anywhere. I just make what I can, and if I get so into the flow of things that it's just like, oh shit, I have a cover. This happened with Attack on Titan. You know, I just started and just like, boom, I had like almost the entire cover made. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make this. But yeah, it also distracts me, you know, because I jump to a new thing. So it's about focus and discipline, which, you know, I can sometimes lack a little bit. So the way I think about it now is that, you know, I have an audience and people want more music from me, and that kind of motivates me to just keep making stuff. But, you know, even if you didn't have that, my advice is just keep creating stuff. Just have the goal of finishing what you're doing. Don't expect it to be a masterpiece, because in 10 years it won't be anyway. So just keep at it, make stuff, and whatever it is you're doing, and don't stop until you're done, and then move on to the next one. The next thing you do will always be better than the last, you know, so just keep going. Do you now work only on your projects and Equilibrium, or do you still mix master songs for other bands? YouTube is more or less keeping me afloat, you know. Not really the best income in the world, but at the same time, that's what I need to focus on. I need to make that grow. But, you know, if a mixing mastering job comes along and it is music that I really enjoy, and especially if there's people I enjoy working with, there's always a possibility that I will do the job. But for the most part, no. Scar, how was your childhood, and do you have any fun, interesting short story from it? And do you still keep in touch with some of classmates? Well, good question. I had a great childhood, you know, and you know, I had tons of great memories. Like, what's a good one? Good story from my childhood. Well, I sleepwalked when I was like 6, and I pissed down the stairs, and I made like this waterfall of piss go down, and my parents had to clean it up. Does that count? Maybe not the coolest story, but anyway, I'm keeping in touch with classmates. You know, I only have like a few people that I keep in touch with from school or from the childhood, so you know, that's how it goes. You know, you grow up, you grow apart. Hello, Scar. As copyright laws are getting increasingly stricter, I'm wondering if you are facing difficulties when making covers. No, not really. I mean, like, covers are perfectly legal. There's nothing illegal about making covers. The only thing that's really strict is that if these companies go after you and they really want to bring down people who make covers of their material. There's not that many of it in video games, luckily, that they embrace this kind of stuff. Because, you know, with covers, there's no real rule set. I mean, there are rules, but if you want to look hard enough, you can find, like, everything is illegal in making metal covers, basically, if you look hard enough. And then everything is legal and is not legal. It's like, and I've asked many people, there's nobody that has a real good answer for this. You know, the way I try to do it, I try to always be respectful to the source material and respectful to whoever owns the original piece of music, you know, and make my own cover. And if stuff happens, it happens. You can't really spend too much time thinking about that because it will drive you insane. I know. So 2 questions in succession from Dr. Vern. What's your all-time favorite game, and what game do you play the most right now? My favorite game of all time is Dark Souls 1, 3, 3 and 1, 1, 2, 3, all of them. And then the game I play most right now is Final Fantasy 14. I have no idea why I haven't played that game before. It is so goddamn good. I'm totally suckered in right now. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I have an older brother. He is 2 years older than me. Do you intend to perform on stage any day? You know, before COVID hit, I was actually talking with some festivals about exactly that. So it really sucks that COVID struck when it did. But it's something I'm thinking about, and something I definitely want to make happen in the future. Your music is all I listen to when I work out. It pumps me up. Awesome, man. Just started exercising myself. You know, I've been lazy. Question, besides metal, what other music genres are you into? So when I'm not making metal music, I'm mostly listening to video game music, actually. And video game music, you know, it's a wide selection of genres within video game music. But other than that, not really. I listen mostly to metal, and then some pop rock every now and then. Goo Goo Dolls is actually my favorite pop rock band. So there's a fun fact for you. With who would you love to collaborate with who you haven't yet? If I'm looking at it from like a YouTuber's perspective and other YouTubers I would like to collaborate with, you know, Jonathan Young would be awesome to make something with. That guy has like an insane voice. And, you know, Little V would be awesome. You know, me and him probably share like the same taste in games, at least, and music-wise we're in the same alley, and it would be awesome to make something also with Violet Orlandi. That would be awesome. But I mean, like, you know, whatever comes up, I'm in no rush to do that. If the opportunity arises, I will, you know, jump at the opportunity, of course. It's always very rewarding, you know, to work with other people and make something awesome. And my question is, you play guitar, bass, and you sing, but do you play drums? In some videos I see sometimes a drummer, but others there's no drummer in the video. So do you use specific software like Easy Drummer, and if yes, what kind of pack do you use? The only 2 videos I'm using a real drummer on is Times Change and Fair Not This Night with Maasen and Frank. That was really awesome, by the way, to have real drums on my covers. But you know, it's a lot of work having real drums, not because of the person, but the actual mixing and, you know, recording it and all that stuff. So for the most part right now, I'm using Superior Drummer 3, mixed in with a lot of my own samples. I'm using something from Steven Slate Drums 5 also, so there's a lot of different stuff I use, but like the main sound is Superior Drummer 3. Can we make the Scar lives in his parents' basement joke here? You can, because it's facts. So, or actually I don't live here, but you know, the studio is here at least. What are your main sources of inspiration or influence band genre-wise? I notice a lot of metalcore in your screams, of course the epic part as well, but I would like to know specifically what bands are your main influences. I am very inspired by metalcore, you know, but I haven't listened to that many bands, you know, I have to admit. I started listening to, you know, Bullet for Valentine and Trivium, you know, Ascendancy days, 2006 I think, that's when I discovered those bands, and after that they really, you know, inspired me a lot throughout the years. But also with the epic parts, it's mostly been Nightwish and video game music that has kind of inspired that part of me. But yeah, metalcore has definitely been a huge impact, especially on the screaming. You know, As I Lay Dying has been like such a huge influence on me since like I started listening to them in 2014, I think. And I still to this day, you know, refer to them when I need some inspiration for the metal parts. Screaming wise also metalcore, yeah, but at the same time, it's a little mix of everything. What do you master your songs, and do you mind different lift standards, or do you only do what sounds good? So I'm not mastering my own songs anymore. Actually, since Country Roads last year, I had Robin Lee John from Sweden master my tracks. He does such an amazing job with that and makes it sound better than if I did it myself. He's also the guy who mixed Renegades, you know, the album from Equilibrium. But you know, I tried to stick at -10 lufs. This is like -13 is what Spotify recommends, but that's just a little too quiet for me. I mean, like, I'm not into the loudness war. I don't need my tracks to sound insanely loud. But I do like that little pump, you know, that little volume you get and that loudness. So at -10 was like a good sweet spot for me, and I try to stick with that. My question is that I have a lack of understanding on how you create drum section in your songs. How do you do it? Are you talented in drums too? So let me set the record straight. I am not a good drummer. I mean, I can be behind a drum kit and play for like 20 seconds and then I just lose the beat, you know? But I do have a good understanding on how drums work and how drummers play their beats and how they play their fills. And over the years, I basically just picked up, you know, fill patterns and stuff like that drummers do. And I just took that over to my own stuff. And then when I see it in front of me, I just think like, how would a drummer play this? You know, you have 2 hands, 2 feet. You can't do anything more wild than that. And actually drums is the first thing I make in a cover almost exclusively. I do not touch the guitar before I had the drums there, because that defines the drive of the song, you know? Maybe I'll elaborate on this in a later video. If you were not a musician who made great covers that give a smile, what kind of job would you do? I actually have no friggin' idea. I mean, maybe something in games, maybe making games in some way. That's basically been my backup plan. Okay, I never had a backup plan. Or that, or like a tattoo artist. But I suck at drawing, so I don't see that ever happening. What is your opinion on potatoes? Potatoes are awesome. We use them a lot here in Norway, and you can boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. What advice would you give someone who wants to start doing covers on YouTube like you? My advice is just start doing it. Don't think too much, pick a song you like, maybe something that already has a rock and roll vibe, and just start making your metal cover. Just program your drums, make some riffs. Don't think too much. You know, like I said earlier in the video, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Just go for it and then move on to the next one, or work on 3 different covers at the same time. See which one kind of like inspires you the most and gives you the most motivation to continue. What is your most favorite cover you ever done on a video game? That's my Dark Souls Gwyn Lord of Cinder. That's probably my favorite one. First of all, I love the song so much, but it's also like I felt I managed to translate so much from that piano tune into metal in such a good way. It just snapped, you know? What has been your hardest moment in your YouTube journal? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, but hardest moments, like in my YouTube career in general, I would say is back in 2016 when I quit my job to focus on music, and then I had like this really, you know, I was stressed out. I wanted to make it work so I can actually get somewhere, and yeah, it was a lot of pressure during those times, 2016, 2017, and it started to kind of get better when I released Reigns of Castamere, I remember. All right, that is all the questions I could get to in this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for posting your questions, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting my channel and supporting my music throughout the years. You guys are amazing. The next piece of music I am releasing is a brand new original song, and I can't wait to share it with you guys and hear what you think of it. So until that happens, I will see you all in the next video, next social media post, next Twitch stream. Go to my Twitch right now and follow me there. I will be streaming probably tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe the other day, another day. Yeah. All right, guys, I love you. See you later.